Imagine your body is a very big, very complicated building. To build this building, you need a set of instructions. These instructions tell every part how to be made and what to do. Inside almost every tiny room or cell of your body, these instructions are kept safe. They are packed into tiny, thread-like structures. Scientists call these structures chromosomes. They are incredibly small, but they hold all the information that makes you, you. This information decides many things, from the color of your eyes to how tall you might grow. It's a complete blueprint for a human being. Humans have many of these instruction threads. We get them from our parents. You get one set of instructions from your mother. You get another complete set from your father. These two sets pair up. In total, people usually have 46 chromosomes. They are arranged in 23 pairs. Think of it like having 23 pairs of shoes. Each pair works together. One shoe from mom, one shoe from dad. This combination of instructions is unique to each person, unless you have an identical twin. These chromosomes are working all the time, in every cell. Now, one of these pairs of chromosomes is very special. This pair decides if a baby will be a boy or a girl. These are called the sex chromosomes. There are two types of sex chromosomes. One is called the X chromosome. The other is called the Y chromosome. If a baby gets two X chromosomes, one from each parent, that baby will usually be a girl. So, girls often have an XX pair. This is the most common pattern for females, carrying all the necessary information for female development. But if a baby gets an X chromosome from the mother and a Y chromosome from the father, that baby will usually be a boy. So boys often have an XY pair. This Y chromosome is quite unique. It is much smaller than the X chromosome. It also carries different kinds of instructions. Only people who are biologically male have this Y chromosome. It is passed down directly from father to son, generation after generation. This makes it a special marker of male lineage, a tiny inheritance carried through time. The Y chromosome has one very famous job. This job is to start the process of making a baby male. There is a special gene on the Y chromosome that acts like a master switch. This gene is often called SRY, which stands for sex-determining region Y. When this SRY gene is present and working, it sends out a signal. This signal tells the very early baby, when it is just a tiny group of cells, to start developing as a male. It's a critical first step in a long chain of events. Without this SRY gene, the baby would usually develop as a female. This SRY gene doesn't do all the work by itself, of course. It kicks off a whole cascade of other genetic activities. Think of it like the first domino falling in a long line. Once SRY gives the signal, other genes on other chromosomes wake up. They start to direct the growth of male-specific body parts. So, while the Y chromosome is small, its SRY gene has a huge impact. It sets the direction for many aspects of male biology. This initial signal shapes development in profound ways, influencing the body from its earliest stages. For a long time, many scientists thought the Y chromosome was a bit of a genetic lightweight. They saw its small size. They knew about the SRY gene, but they believed that was mostly all it did. Some even called it a genetic wasteland because it seemed to have so few genes compared to the X chromosome. The X chromosome is packed with over 1,000 genes. The Y chromosome, in contrast, has far fewer, perhaps only a few dozen that make proteins. It seemed its main purpose was just to determine maleness and then stay quiet. However, science is always about discovery, and new research is changing these old ideas. Scientists are now finding that the Y chromosome might be doing much more. It's not just a simple on-off switch for maleness that then takes a long nap. It seems the genes on the Y chromosome could be active throughout a man's life. They might be influencing other parts of health in ways we are only just beginning to understand. This tiny chromosome is turning out to be more complex and more important than previously suspected. One interesting thing scientists have noticed is that the Y chromosome can sometimes disappear from certain cells as men get older. This doesn't happen in all cells or in all men. But in some men, as they age, some of their blood cells, for example, might lose their Y chromosome. This is called mosaic loss of Y, or LOY. It's like some of the instruction pages are missing in some of the body's rooms. Researchers are studying why this happens and what it means. It appears to be a common part of the aging process for some individuals. This loss of the Y chromosome in some cells has been linked to certain health issues. Studies have shown that men with higher levels of Y chromosome loss in their blood cells might have a greater risk for some age-related diseases. These can include conditions like certain types of heart disease or even Alzheimer's disease. It is important to remember that this is a link, not a direct cause for everyone. Many men with Y loss live long, healthy lives, but the connection is strong enough that scientists are paying close attention to it. It's not just the loss of the whole Y chromosome that matters. The Y chromosome, even though small, still has other genes on it besides the SRY gene. These other genes are active in different tissues in the body, not just the reproductive organs. Some of these genes are thought to play roles in things like the immune system's response. They might also be involved in how the body handles inflammation. So, variations in these Y chromosome genes, or how active they are, could also influence a man's susceptibility to various illnesses or conditions throughout his life. The research into the Y chromosome and its full impact on health is still quite new and very exciting. Scientists are like detectives, piecing together clues from this small but mighty part of our genetic code. It's a complex puzzle because health is affected by many things: our genes, our lifestyle, and our environment. But understanding the Y chromosome's role adds a new piece to that puzzle, specifically for men's health. Every new discovery helps us see a clearer picture of how male bodies work and what keeps them healthy. Learning more about the Y chromosome and its genes could change how doctors help men stay healthy. If specific features of the Y chromosome or its loss in cells are linked to certain health risks, doctors could use this information. For example, they might be able to identify men who have a higher risk for heart problems earlier in life. This early knowledge could lead to better advice on lifestyle changes. Or it could mean more careful monitoring for any early signs of disease, allowing for quicker treatment if something develops. In the future, we might see new kinds of medical tests. Perhaps a simple blood test could check the health of a man's Y chromosomes in his cells. Such a test could reveal if there is significant Y chromosome loss, or it might look for variations in Y chromosome genes that are linked to specific conditions. This isn't something available today for common use, but as research continues, these kinds of personalized tests could become a valuable tool for doctors. They could help in creating a clearer picture of an individual man's health profile. This deeper understanding could also lead to new and better treatments specifically for men. If scientists know exactly how certain Y chromosome genes affect health, they might be able to develop medicines that target these pathways. For instance, if a Y gene affects inflammation in a way that increases disease risk, a treatment could aim to correct that. This is part of a bigger idea in medicine called personalized medicine. It means tailoring medical care to each person's unique genetic makeup and circumstances, leading to more effective interventions. So the Y chromosome is much more than just the decider of male sex. It is a small but significant part of a man's genetic story throughout his entire life. Studying it carefully is opening up new ways to understand men's health and disease. It highlights how different biological factors can influence health in males. Continued research into the secrets held by this unique chromosome promises to bring important benefits. It will hopefully lead to longer, healthier lives for men everywhere, demonstrating its lasting importance.